Yeah. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, we will talk about, mainly the university rankings, cost, and all the cost mentioned in the program here today will be on INR conversions also, along with the Korean won, which is the local currency there. We will also delve into the scholarships, the application process, including topic. Now, what is topic? TOPIK. Topic is the test of proficiency in Korea. And visa process, career prospects with salary analysis, pathways to work permits, and permanent residency. I would request all of you all to please take notes. Let's begin. Now, the first thing which comes to our mind is why choose Korea? South Korea ranks globally in innovation. It's home to Samsung, Hyundai, LG, Hynix. So these are the prominent companies which you will come across during your internships and even your jobs. Your study surrounded by cutting edge technology and breakthrough research in AI, semiconductors, and quantum computing. The Hallyu Wave, BTS, of course, among your generations, I'm sure I do not need to say anything more about that. Blackpink, Squid Game, Parasite has all made Korean culture a global phenomenon. You will experience this firsthand at its source. Now, some demographics about Korea. Korea is the world's 13th largest economy, producing 30% of global semiconductor chips. And I'm sure all of you are aware that globally semiconductor chips are in very much of shortage right now. Strong economy means excellent post-graduation jobs even. Over 400 world-class universities with multiple in global top 20. Now, currently, 210,000 international students growing 15 to 20% annually. Government prioritizes attracting international talent through programs like Global Korea Scholarship. Now, a game changer, costs are 40 to 60% lower than US, UK, Australia, etc. Total annual budget 8 to 13 lakh rupees versus 30 to 50 lakh rupees in Western countries. So you save around 60 to 70% on your budget even. Consistently ranked among world's safest countries, ultra-modern infrastructure, world's fastest internet, efficient 24/7 transportation. D10 job seeker visa gives 2 years to find employment after graduation. Clear pathway to permanent residency, and especially for STEM graduates. Now here you can see that this is strong enough reason why one should select Korea for their bachelor's or master's or PhD. Next slide, we talk about the top universities and their QS rankings as per 2026. Seoul University, the national university there, is ranked 38, and the average tuition is somewhere between 3.7 lakh to 5.5 lakhs. This is the Korea's premier institution, which is very strong in engineering, sciences, and business. It is equivalent to Harvard in reputation. Then comes Yonsei University, ranked number 50. Tuition fees are roughly around 3.1 lakhs to 6.2 lakhs. Part of the prestigious SKY universities. Over 100 English taught programs, exceptional in medicine and business. Third comes the Korea University, which is ranked 61. The average tuition cost is
Nice, Shaliman.
Yes, please.
Could you, it's on the same slide as before. No, it is changed.
Which before, same slide? I'm still on this slide itself. Just 1 second, please. Hold on, please hold on. I'll just share the screen among you all again. I think there was some freezing in the screen, I'm told. Are you all able to see the QS ranking slide, Vanshika? Vanshika? Vanshika, am I audible? Yeah. So we are on the Korea University. The tuition cost here is 6.1 lakhs to 13.5 lakhs. Now here, the Korea University is the third SKY member. It is strong in law and business. Higher tuition, but substantial scholarships are available. Then comes COSTECH, then we have Sungkyuan, then we have Hanyang University, Ulsan University, and Kyunghee University. Now all of these, like say for example SKKU, which is the university which is ranked 126, is over 600 years old university. It was founded somewhere in 1398. Samsung partnership means exceptional internships and placements in SKKU. Then in terms of Hanyang University, the specialty is it is one of the highest graduate employment rates. Now, what do we derive from this slide, students? Even top 50 globally ranked universities cost 3 to 7 lakhs annually, less than any private individual colleges in India. So compare this to the top US universities at 40 or 50 lakhs, or UK at 25 or 35 lakh rupees. Come to the next slide of types of institutions. Now here you can see on the left side the categories or types of the institutions which are prevalent in Korea. That is mainly the national and public universities, private universities, universities of education or industrial colleges, junior colleges, graduate schools, and Korean language institutes. Now, national and public universities, these are government funded like Seoul National, KAIST, POS Tech. These have lowest tuition, highest research funding, 4 years bachelor's and 2 years master's, and 3 to 4 years PhD. Private universities like Yonsei, Korea, SKKU, and Hanyang, these have higher tuition than national universities, but are still affordable. More English taught programs are prevalent there, and stronger industry linkages are also there. Graduate schools, often fully funded through research assistantships, full tuition waiver, and they also offer a monthly stipend. The monthly stipend ranges somewhere from around 50,000 to around 90,000 rupees for the graduate schools. Korean language institutes, university affiliated programs, 3 to 12 months course, preparing for TOPIK. As I mentioned, the full form of TOPIK is Test of Proficiency in Korea. It also helps in study on D4 visa. Many offer pathway programs leading directly to degree admission. Now, my recommendation here is most international students should target national and private universities offering English taught programs. We come to the next slide of popular fields and recruiting companies therein. First and foremost, the most favorite of most of the children, engineering and technology. Now here the most famous courses in this area are robotics, semiconductors, and smart manufacturing. The recruiting companies here are Samsung, Hynix, LG Electronics, Hyundai Motor Group, Samsung Heavy Industries, Doosan, and others. Next is computer science and AI. This focuses more on the data science, cyber security, and software engineering. The favorite companies here who recruit are Naver, that is Korea's Google, Kakao, that is the messaging fintech company, Coupang, that is Korea's Amazon, Samsung Research, NCSoft, Krafton, LG AI Research, Hyundai Autron, which is autonomous vehicles, etc. Third in line comes business and management. This focuses on international trade, marketing, and finance. The recruiting companies in this area are the Big Four accounting, that is the Deloitte, PwC, EY, and KPMG. Then Shinhan Financial, KB Financial, Samsung CNT, Lotte Group, and there are many other companies as well. Next, design and media, animation, fashion, film production, game design. Here, the recruiting companies are mainly HYBE, which is the BTS agency, JYP, SM, YG Entertainment, Studio Dragon, etc. Next in line is the natural sciences and biotechnology, which is focusing on the pharmacy, biomedical engineering. The companies here are Samsung Biologics, which is the world's largest biopharmaceutical CDMO, Celltrion, SK Biopharmaceuticals, LG Chem Life Sciences, etc. Now, the crux of this particular slide is the key advantages. The major conglomerates like Samsung, LG, Hyundai all operate across multiple sectors. Entry into one division opens doors again across the entire group. So all these famous names like Samsung, LG, and Hyundai, they have various sectors presence in the country, which is beneficial to us as students. Next comes the cost of education and living. I would go a little bit slow so that you can take your notes regarding the costs. The costs are all mentioned firstly in Korean won, and in brackets for convenience, they are given in rupees as per today's conversion. Tuition costs, as you are able to see, they are around, per year, whatever tuition fees we are talking about are somewhere in around 2.5 lakhs to around 6 lakh rupees. Living costs are roughly around 46,000 to 61,000 rupees on a per month basis. Now, when we talk about living expenses, we talk about housing, we talk about meals, and transport and miscellaneous expenses. Housing costs somewhere around 30,900 to 43,000 rupees per month. Meals around 12,000 to 18,000 per month. And transport and miscellaneous expenses 6,000 to 12,000 a month. Now, again, coming back on the tuition, the national universities cost anywhere between 2.5 lakh to 3.5 lakh rupees per year annually. Private universities cost around 3.66 lakhs to 6 lakhs rupees. And by field, humanities or social sciences cost lower, engineering mid-range, and medicine costs higher. University dormitory, if you take into consideration on a twin sharing basis and utilities included, cost around 18,000 to 30,000 rupees. Small private rooms cost around 24,000 to 36,000 per month. And studio apartment costs around 36,000 to 55,000 rupees. Now, when we are focusing on the meals, there are university cafeteria and per meal charges which come across around, you can talk around 12,000 to 18,000 per month rupees. Self-cooking obviously would cost a little lesser, around 9,000 rupees to 12,000 rupees per month. Transportation, the best way to ensure that you limit your expenses on transportation is to accept the monthly pass system. There are student discount of around 20% and every student should avail of it. So the monthly pass costs around 3,300 rupees per month. The mobile expenses are around 1,800 to 3,000 per month. So if you take into consideration the most common budget, you are roughly coming across to a 7.5 lakhs to 10 lakhs or 9 lakhs, you can say, roughly around that. My recommendation would be start with university dorm for adjustment and cultural immersion and convenience. After familiarizing, one can move to private accommodation if preferred. So to understand the culture and the local area and to ensure that you build up a network, it is always good to start with a university dorm to stay with. And then once you finish a year or so, you can shift to whatever it is preferred by you. We come to the next slide, mainly of the scholarships. Now, first and foremost, the thumb rule, whenever anyone is looking at very high level of scholarships, it is firstly on merit basis. That is one thing which needs to be taken on consideration. And for scholarships to be received by you, you should ensure that your applications reach much before time, before the due date. That will ensure that you get the highest priority on scholarships, provided your academics and your entrance test results are solid. Now here we talk about the government funded scholarships and the university scholarships. Global Korea Scholarship, which is the GKS, is a full tuition, airfare, living stipend, as well as settlement allowance. It covers 100% tuition as well. So this scholarship in rupee terms, if you want to talk, then it is around rupees 7 lakhs per year. It also gives round trip airfare, which is around 12,200 rupees, and plus 1 year Korean language training, plus medical insurance, plus research allowance for graduates. So for undergraduates for 4 years, this scholarship could go maximum to around rupees 40 to 50 lakh rupees. For masters of 2 or 3 years, it could go around 25 lakhs to 35 lakh rupees. And for PhD, from 40 lakh to 55 lakh rupees. Now the eligibility is age under 25 for undergrad, age under 40 for graduates, academics 80% plus in 12th for undergrad, 3 out of 4 GPA for graduates, and no Korean language is required. Application process, 2 tracks, embassy through Korean Embassy Delhi or university directly to the Korean universities. It opens in Feb-March for September intake. Please note that. And competition is 5 to 8% acceptance rate. So only around 5 to 8% acceptance rate do get the scholarship. So ensure that your profile is made very strong before you apply for the scholarship. Second is the support program for self-finance students. Partial tuition aid is given of around 30 to 50% tuition waiver, which works out to around 1.2 to around 2.4 lakh annually. No living stipend is given, and it applies through university's international office. You need to maintain a 3 GPA minimum during your course. Third comes the ASEAN scholarship, which is for STEM only. Full tuition plus monthly support given, research support given, masters and PhD only are given this scholarship. Minimum 3.3 GPA is required. Age needs to be around 35 years or under. Apply through KAIST, POSTECH, UniST, GIST or DGIST. Next, we talk about the university scholarships, which are purely, as I said, merit-based scholarships, which have tuition waivers of around 30 to 100% based on GPA or professor recommendation. Top 10% get around 100% scholarship, that is the tuition waiver. Top 30% get around 50% tuition waiver. And top 50% get around 30% tuition waiver. Subsequent semesters based on GPA and KAIST, which is KAIST, all international graduate students get full in tuition, that is rupees 21,350 on a monthly basis. Next comes additional research assistantships for graduate programs. This is a full tuition plus monthly amount given plus research expenses. It requires professor acceptance. 15 to 20 hours per week research work needs to be shown to avail of this particular scholarship. So students, moral of the story, strategy required is, as I said earlier, apply early, target multiple scholarships, maintain high GPA, demonstrate research alignment. With scholarships, many study for around 2 to 5 lakh annually, and graduate students often study free with stipends. We take the next slide on the student life in Korea. Now here, this is the most important non-academic slide for you students. Korea ranks among world's safest countries. Seoul ranks safest city globally for international students. World's fastest internet, as I said earlier, efficient metro or bus service, 24/7 convenience stores. Universities guarantee dorms for international students for the first year. Twin sharing rooms with internet, heating, and laundry. There are shared apartments also nearby if one is not comfortable with the dorms. Of course, they will cost a bit more. Growing international community from 100 plus countries. There are buddy programs which pair you with Korean students. International Student Office provides visa, housing, academic, language, and psychological support. There are university festivals, accessible K-pop concerts, museums, palaces, traditional markets, entertainment districts, weekend trips via high-speed trains. Food is different from Indian cuisine. Korean meals is mainly rice, soup, banchan, kimchi. Challenging for vegetarians, Indian restaurants are in major cities. Most students cook Indian food. There are 4 seasons, mainly spring, which is the cherry blossom season, summer, which is hot and humid, autumn, which is fall foliage, and winter, which is very cold. It can go down to even -10 to -20 degrees Celsius. Warm clothing is definitely required. So 85% plus students report high satisfaction here. Common challenges are language barrier outside the campus, spicy food, fast pace. So mostly students adapt within the first 2 to 3 months. We come to the next slide of the application process. Now this involves emphasizing on topic, which is the language proficiency test, the Korean language proficiency test, and the D2 visa. Step 1, select the university 8 to 10 months before. Now for this, you can go through the website www.studyinkorea.go.kr. You can filter by degree, field, language, English versus Korean. Then region, you can also filter by region, scholarships, etc. Track 5 to 8 universities with requirements and deadlines. Step 2, prepare the documents 6 to 8 months before the process starts. So transcripts and certificates of 10th, 12th, bachelor's, master's, notarized by MEA India. Statement of purpose, 1 or 2 pages. Mainly, what does statement of purpose, the essay which is required for all the admission process, it has 3 questions. Why this program? Why this university? And your goals. Then next in line, you need to prepare 2 letters of recommendation from professors and advisors. Ensure to choose the best one with whom you have the best rapport and you have customized Experience is written in the letter of recommendation more than only the ornamental language about it. English proficiency, if you are going for the English taught programs, that is IELTS or TOEFL. For IELTS, which comes out of a band of 9, you are expected for undergrad to get at least a 6 band, and for graduates around 6.5 for graduates. TOEFL, TOEFL IBT, of course, for undergraduate, around 80 score is okay to have, minimum 80, and for graduates around 90. TOPIK, which is the Korean language proficiency, there is TOPIK 1, which is the beginner level, and listening plus reading is there. There is no writing in the beginner level. Total 200 points are there. TOPIK 2, which is the intermediate or the advanced level, is called the level 3 to 6, which has listening plus writing plus reading. Total 300 points. Requirements are English taught programs, no TOPIK is needed. TOPIK is needed only if you want to study in the Korean taught programs. For Korean taught programs, undergrad minimum level 3 is required. For graduate, minimum level 4 is required. Exam is conducted in India twice yearly in April and October. The centers are Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, and Mumbai, and Pune as well. The fees are 1200 to 1500 rupees. You can register on, note down please, www.topik.go.kr. I repeat, www.topik.go.kr. And if you do not want to appear for TOPIK, then apply to English programs or pathway programs, which are 6 to 12 months, Korean training on D4 visa, and then degree on D2 visa. What are the financial documents required for admission purpose? Bank certificate showing around 6 lakhs, which is maintained for 6+ months. For portfolio, design and arts, for that you require your portfolio submission, and for graduates, research proposal. Passport copy, which should be valid for 2+ years, and photos are required. Step 3, you submit your application 4 to 6 months before. Spring intake, March start, apply in September to November. Fall intake, September start, which is most common here, apply April to June. Fees are rupees 3,000 to 9,000 per university for the application process. Step 4, receive admission 1 to 3 months before. Get certificate of admission, standard admission permit, tuition payment instructions, and housing forms. Sorry, I meant receive admission 1 to 3 months after submitting your application. Last is step 5, which talks mainly about the D2 visa application. For bachelor's, it is D2 to 2. For master's, it is D2 3. For PhD, it is D2 4. So you need to apply at the Korean embassy or the consulate in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, or Calcutta, and processing takes around 7 to 14 days. The documents required for the visa application are again in the website. Please note down www.visa.go.kr. You need valid passport 6+ months, 2 blank pages, 1 passport photo with the size required, certificate of admission, final education certificate, financial proof, which I said earlier, around 6.1 lakh rupees, can be parents' account, bank statement 6 months, income tax returns, affidavit of support, if parents' account, birth certificate, notarized and apostilled. University documents which are required are the business registration and the curriculum. What is mandatory is the tuberculosis test from designated hospital, valid for 6 months, costing around 3,000 to 5,000 rupees. Check the embassy website for approved hospitals. Visa fee runs to around 3,300 to 7,500 rupees, and validity is up to 2 years initially and then renewable in Korea. Step number 6. is the arrival within 90 days. Register at the university, apply for alien registration card, which is the ARC, at immigration office, and open bank account, get mobile number, and register national health insurance. We come to the next slide of student visa, D2, D4. As I said earlier, D2 is applicable for degree programs, that is bachelor's, master's, and PhD. And D4 is mainly for Korean language training, 6 months to 1 year. The key requirement here is to ensure that 6.1 lakh rupees in the bank account is to be maintained for 6+ months, not last minute deposit. Can be your or parents' account. Visa fee, as I said, processing takes around 7 to 14 days. And critical for Indian, as I mentioned earlier, the tuberculosis or the TB test from designated hospital. Without clear TB result, visa will be rejected. After arrival, get the ARC within 90 days. ARC is your iCard for banking, mobile, health, and insurance. Visa allows part-time work, 20 hours per week during semester, unlimited during vacations after 6 months enrollment. And you need immigration permission as well. Next is part-time work opportunities. As I mentioned earlier, that part-time for few hours is allowed when you are studying, and in vacation, it is seamless. So international students can work part-time after 6 months of enrollment with immigration office permission. The limit is 20 hours per week during semester, unlimited hours during vacations, which is summer and winter breaks. Typical hourly wages are around 610 to 915 rupees per hour. Common jobs which can be taken up are tutoring, that is English and maths, restaurant or cafe work, convenience store staff, campus jobs, and translation work. Monthly earnings could go to absolutely around 48,000 rupees to 73,000 per month by working part-time. This covers significant portion of living expenses. And the application process is get part-time work permit from immigration office. Employer must register the work. Cannot work in entertainment establishments. Benefits: earn while studying, gain Korean work experience, improve language skills, build professional network. Many part-time jobs lead to full-time offers post-graduation. Now next comes career and industry insights. South Korea is the world's 13th largest economy backed by strong research and innovation. The country offers numerous career opportunities for international students, especially in the STEM fields like AI, robotics, semiconductors, and green energy. There is a shortage projected to create over 1 lakh skilled vacancies by 2030. The creative and media industries also thrive, fueled by the global popularity of Hallyu exports like Korean film, gaming, fashion, and K-pop. International graduates get a D10 job seeker visa valid up to 2 years after graduation to find local employment. Average graduation salaries range from around 23 lakh rupees to 33 lakh rupees approximately, depending on the sector, with IT, engineering, and business management topping the range. The job market favors those with Korean language skills, that is the TOEIC level 3 to 4 or higher, relevant degrees, and industry internships. Universities and government-run jobs matching programs support international students with placements. There is strong demand for professionals in IT, AI, healthcare, engineering, business dev, and creative media. So international students must aim for internships and on-campus part-time jobs. Parents should know that South Korea offers a well-developed ecosystem to support students' transition from study to employment. Networking with Korean peers, alumni, and industry professionals is vital for career success. Next, we come to a very, very important slide, students and parents. Focus on this slide, which talks about the graduate salaries by sector and payback calculations. Now to come about the payback calculation is mainly regarding how many years after the expenses. So whatever salary you will get and after deducting expenses, how many years will it take to recover whatever you have spent on the studies? For engineers, monthly gross works out to around rupees 3 lakhs. For IT or software engineers, it again is around 2.5 lakhs per month, the salaries. We are talking about business and finance here. So the payback period for engineering and technology is 2 to 3 years. For computer science and AI, it is 2 years. Business management annual approximate salary is around 23 to 28 lakh rupees with a payback period of 3 years. Design and media, again, an annual salary of 20 lakhs to 26 lakhs, 3 to 4 years is the estimated payback. Similar numbers for natural sciences and biotechnology, and Korean studies and international relations take around 4 to 5 years for payback. Now, while working out, as I said, the payback period is calculated from approximate salary minus the expenses. Now, which expenses am I talking about here? I'm talking about the rent, the food, the transport, the utilities or mobile, and the miscellaneous expenses. So I'm assuming that a monthly expense is totally around 76,000 rupees. So out of that, the monthly savings would be around 10 lakh rupees. So annual saving will be around 10 lakh rupees, I'm sorry. So total education cost for bachelor's for 4 years, total investment if you count of around 40 lakhs, then 40 lakhs divided by that annual saving of 10 lakh rupees works out to around 4 years. With scholarships, which is 50% tuition waiver, total investment reduces to 32 lakh rupees. Then the payback period will be reduced to 3 years. With GKS full scholarship, total investment is only the miscellaneous expenses of around 3 to 4 lakh over the 4 years. So the payback period, if you get GKS full scholarship, payback period is only 6 months. Now, what is the key points which should be noted? Payback calculation is based on the net savings, which is after expenses. Most graduates recover investment within around 3 to 4 years without scholarship, 2 to 3 years with partial scholarship. Salary grows around 10 to 15% annually in Korea with experience. And after 3 to 5 years, salary can reach around 36 to 48 lakhs annually. Come to the next slide, which talks about the opportunities after graduation. The D10 job seeker visa, which is valid up to 2 years after graduation. The PR, that is the F2 or the F5, after 5+ years of residence and full-time work, you can get that. There is a high demand for skilled professionals in IT, AI, healthcare, and engineering. Now, to submit the D10 job seeker visa, you have to submit your graduation certificate, your transcript, your financial proof of 6.1 lakh rupees, employment preparation plan. You can apply 6 months before graduation or within 6 months after. During D10, you can work part-time up to 30 hours a week while job searching. Once you secure job offer, convert to E7 work visa. Now, for family, E7 visa holders can bring spouse and children on F3 dependent visa after 1 year of employment. The ease of getting work visa, Korea actively wants international graduates to stay. Government policy encourages hiring international talent, especially in STEM, IT, engineering, and research. The success rate is approximately 60 to 70% of international graduates who seek employment find jobs within D10 period and convert to E7. STEM graduates have higher success rate of around 75 to 80%. TOPIK 4+ level proficiency is expected, which significantly improves your chances of visa. Then we talk about the PR, which is the permanent residency, the F5 and the Route 2. which is taken, which is actually Route 2 is a point-based system where 80 points are required out of 120. The points awarded are age under 40 get maximum points, education for PhD 35 points, for masters 30 points, and for bachelors 25 points. Income, higher income is equal to more points, obviously. And Korean language, topic 6 is equal to 25 points. Topic 5 level, 20 points. And topic 4, 15 points. Length of stay in Korea, assets or investment in Korea, that is also taken into considerations. And recommendations also. STEM graduates with PhD and high income with topic 5 level and 5+ years in Korea easily exceed 80 points. Now, what are the benefits of F5? You get an indefinite stay in Korea, no renewal needed. You can work in any field without restrictions. You can change employers freely. Eligible for government benefits like nationals. Can apply for Korean citizenship after 5 years on F5. Can sponsor family members and access to long-term housing loans. So you can see that getting PR is relatively easier than the Western countries. The timeline is student visa, 4 years for bachelors. Korean citizenship is optional after 5 or more years on F5. You must pass the citizenship test and renounce previous citizenship. India does not allow dual citizenship. Next, we come to the slide of quick facts, which is the snapshot. You can see that South Korea boasts around 400 universities and colleges offering a wide variety of programs. Among these, 200+ degree programs are taught entirely in English, making them accessible to international students without prior Korean fluency. As of 2024, 210,000 international students study in Korea, reflecting steady growth and country's increasing popularity. Average tuition fees around 45,000 to 61,000 is the living cost here, and tuition fees is around 3.6 lakhs to 5 lakhs, providing affordable access to world-class education. South Korea grants a post-study work visa, as I mentioned, D10, for up to 2 years, allowing graduates to seek employment locally. Korean language proficiency requirements commonly start at topic level 3 for admission and level 4 for graduation in Korean taught programs. Students enjoy vibrant campus life enriched by Korean culture, festivals, K-pop events, and multicultural mix. Next slide, we come to how Mentora helps you to succeed. Mentora offers comprehensive support tailored to your study abroad journey to Korea. We begin by helping you select universities and programs that best match your career goals, budget, and preferred study fields. Our consultants provide expert guidance on creating strong applications, adhering to timelines and university-specific requirements. We teach entrance exam preparations, including IELTS and TOEFL, and guide for topic. Mentora supports scholarship mapping, including Global Korea Scholarship, which is the GKS, the most famous, which is the 100% scholarship, and university merit-based scholarships, helping you maximize financial aid opportunities. We guide you meticulously through the visa application process, ensuring all financial, medical, and documentation criteria are met to avoid delays. Pre-departure services include housing assistance, campus orientation guidance, and arrival checklists to give a smooth transition to life in Korea. Our counselors stay connected throughout your entire study period to provide ongoing support from academic concerns to career planning advice. We also facilitate internship placement support and job searching with Korean employers. Mentora's personalized approach reduces confusion and stress. We provide access to exclusive seminars or webinars, workshops, and updates on Korea's education ecosystem and policies. So you can consider Mentora as your reliable partner, turning your Korea study abroad dream into a successful reality. You can contact us anytime via website, phone, or email for a free consultation to start your journey. Last Thank you for your attention throughout this session. South Korea offers an incredible opportunity, world-class education at affordable rates. So whether you are interested in engineering, business, arts, or sciences, Korea has programs for it. We at Mentora are here to guide you through every step from university selection to visa application to pre-departure orientation. Your journey to studying in Korea starts today. Best wishes for your future, and thank you. Over to you, Vanchika. I hope this particular course was useful to all of you all. And if you have any queries, you can always contact Vanchika. The details are very much there available with you. And thank you for your time on a Sunday morning. Thank you.